Good evening, everyone. I just like to talk about short about VST dilemma. I think everybody knows it. Nobody or the minimest peoples knows to handle it. I'm also one of these guys don't know about to handle the VST dilemma. So for there is a really important part to understand what is the VST dilemma, because if you are not as a music producer understand the VST dilemma, it is one of the biggest case nearby the hijacking dilemma. So there is the VST dilemma and there is the hijacking dilemma. The hijacking dilemma is to composing something someone other also have composed, and to have in mind without any access to music library or something, to not get into a bad uh, position. And there are two parts of it. There is the other part that you simply get hijacked. This is meaning like then we come back to the VST dilemma that your computer get hijacked, but it's mean that they have access on your computer over a remote access or something, and they control your mixes all over. Your mixes get simply controlled because you are a 16 hours a day producer. They know about that, and when this is happened, your system is on remote control access because they are seeking your libraries. You don't know about it. They hijacking your computer. They give you phone calls from numbers you don't know, and nobody takes on the phone, and you have just spam floating. So these are the two problems. So one is you can hijack a track if you not hack a other computer. You simply copy itself, and you don't know about, you do in this mind opinion fail, you copy a songwriting composition from someone other. So this is ever a problem. And there are some in this new age of this 2010 and 2020, and in 2000 it was not so important. There just was this, so it was not so important from my opinion. I started in 2003 make music. So yeah. um I lost part, but this is one. So as a music producer and music composer, you have this three troubles where you can get inside. And you are very, very happy if you're not falling into the VST troubles. So professional music producers, they have one specialist can manage this, or they can manage itself. And I'm not knowing about how to manage itself. And I make now 20 years music production, and I can't manage itself. So I just can studying it how to manage itself. So there are different points in the VST dilemma. There is one, how many RAM your VSTs on the computer use. So it's mean, can I install 100 VSTs on the computer? And when I use two of these VSTs for a track, it is not damage the system. So is the system get damaged when I use more than five VSTs, or is the system get damaged when I use a false VST, what is wrong installed, or it is a spam VST or something else? Anyway, so in Windows there is a different to Mac, and there is a really it's really critical operation to install VSTs. It is the highest critical part of music production to install VSTs, because newcomer in the music production, they install VSTs and they don't know how to have sound a VST, right? They don't have the ear to recognize they have a correct install VST, because VST is working anyway when it's worked, and they play a sound and turn on the VST a frequency, and they don't know about that what they listening through this VST is totally wrong information. right? And this is the biggest problem. And I think all over the world, this is one of the most untold music business overall. Because exactly over the installation of the spam VSTs, you can get hijacked from hackers, right? And it is really complicated to install them correct. So if you have in actually position, I have problems with the Predator 3, Raw Puppet Predator. I have problems. There is not every problem. I have problems with Spire. I have problems with VPS Avenger. These are the actually three plugins. I have troubles installing them, and they are damaged the system. And I don't want to not to use these VSTs. So I buy VSTs for a lot of money, $140, and they are not usable. And this is a really hard point to understand in music production. If they are not correct in their function, they destroy your whole production, and you can get invite a virus in your system. So there are some points what you can use to test it is work or not. So there are security settings in Windows and in Microsoft, but the problem is these Windows setups are not the same. There's one option to make music without of internet connection, and you can deactivate the firewall and you can deactivate the security system on the computer so that our not self-installed programs can get installed. So you let them all free and you can test the music sounds correctly and the frequencies of the VSTs get catched on the right frequencies. The problem is the problem is that this to use need a really strictly part of set up your system to use it. So if the moment come where you have to update your system because the driver is old and so you have all the setups to make back again and so on and so on. So it is really really mindfuck all over the time. It's really really mindfuck to do all these setups because a normal user get into VST plugins like to make music and not to get on work with installing program and their abilities to destroy your system and so on. So it is exactly when you install a program, a VST, and it's damaged your system, then you don't recognize as a music producer that this VST is doing this. So you have to do one step by step, one VST after the other with updates of VST. Install them. And then you have to understand and recognize which VST is not working correctly. And if you not can do this in the correct way, your system will be damaged. And in the hardest part, it is not the VST, it is because your system is hijacked. And this is so hard to understand and so hard to handle to become the answer on what the reason at all it is that the almost people's make music and composing music on a computer began to forget their traumatic situation and just producing music with wrong conditions because the system is interrupted from some unknown issues. And this is really hard, right? But with a little bit of time of with a little bit of time of use the software, you will can see that when it's not sound perfect, when you have too long mix about it, when you have long kick range abilities to configure it, then you have, I can you say directly, if you need long time for it, you are get an issue in the installation process of the VST, or your security setup is not correctly. And this is really hard, painful, because I lost a lot of years. So there are decades inside uh, of years. This is not meaning that the track itself, when you're doing it, sounds bad after it. The problem is that it can sound bad. The almost problem is that it is probably a hijacked computer. What in this case is mean? So when I make music now, I'm producing music and stream it to YouTube, and then I go to YouTube and I listening to video, and the video sounds totally fucked up. It is shit from zero to end. It's just sound shit. And then you have to do nothing and wait for 6 months. And when you after open it after 6 months, it sounds exactly same perfect how it have to sound. And you're amazed about what you have done. And then you know directly there was some upgrade failures, some VST failures. There is all inside, and you have not the fucking answer about what's going wrong. And the answer on this is probably that you are get out of a spyware virus. So there is a spyware system behind what is damaged your music to control what you're doing. So what is mean when you cannot doing concentrate you to produce music, other peoples can better concentrate themselves to do music, and in extreme they can sell your music production to some business. That's the totally extreme and nobody talks about. But this is the hardest part of doing music production. And then there are some possibilities, but I have this synthesizer and I have this synthesizer, and I can give the fact that I'm playing this because on this synthesizer I have doing this patch and so on. It's fucking nobody interesting about. It is like mafia. This is really the baddest part. And this is what gives me this traumatic um, part of it, right? It is traumatic. It's deeply disturbing. It's deeply traumatic to work with this. But I make this so long that I just actually study on the part to installing VST correctly and have simply a system where it is totally offline, so that there is no response from outside into the system. So this is the first and best option. And in Mac, it is more easy to found a solution on this VST dilemma as on Microsoft Windows. And on Mac is it so that you have three steps: the high security system, the system where you can install programs, and the third is the lowest system where the where programs without signature driver can get installed. And the problem is that this trust operation when you have installed a VST and the VST like to make changes on the system, that there is the problem comes inside. So the problem is um, the system get damaged from this step where you install the VST. So the problem is you can then not turn on the security system and say self-installed program and activate this. And then the problem is that the system is no more working correctly. So when you then get higher in the security setup, the system is no more work correctly. It's not so that the VST is no more working. It is so on this security system, the setup, on this security setup, the system will no more work correctly. So you have then get make the system fully free of security setup, that this VST is working correctly, and you don't know this VST is a real VST or it is a fake VST of that VST what you have bought, and so on. And in this situation, I swimming in a sea, and it's like a different to a salt sea. It is like exactly the different. You can get very fast down and sinking very fast, and it's read a lot of concentration and a lot of organization to not get sinking. Because in end effects, your production is just exist with the working of the system and not with the doing of the music. Because when this music is getting updated with some driver audio interface driver updates and so on, it these failures can change the whole mix what you have done. And if the whole mix have changed it, there is maybe just some trash what is left. And this is meaning that you maybe don't found more the energy to mesh and mix up the track what you like to hear, and in the other there is maybe no more possibility to found a solution. Because if it was a phishing attack, it's maybe totally destroyed in their ability to get played. And when you are open it, it's maybe also the possibility that the phishing attack reactivate into the system. And this is really, really bullshit. So you open a file, what you have done was infected with a phishing or a phishing attack mail, and when you open it, activate this virus gets reactivated, and this is simply just horror. Right? This is the baddest um, situation what you can fall in when you work in music production. This all sounds like absolutely horror. I just can say it is absolutely horror. And I don't know the solution. I'm really interested to hear some solution from some professional DJs. They can handle it. If they also have happen this and how they can fix it. What was the real fix point? Was it a reinstallation and then it's get fixed, or they have really need some IT specialists from the label to set up the system new, or they have other options to fix it. So this was it for me. I hope I can make soon a stream. Yeah, this is my old cat. She's 140 years old. I know it sounds horrible, but she's what I'm talk about. She knows how I feel it, and she say what she think about, and she say, "You can do it. You got in the big tiger." She make this also when she have eaten. She makes a wow. She got a big tiger. She says, "Thank you to the big tiger for the meal." But it sounds a little bit horrible on a cat, on a little cat. Yeah. So this is so I hope I can make next time a good stream. Um what I have what the problem is it's all often happen with some traumatic. It is traumatic for producers to come in this. I don't understand this producer say, "Oh, I don't know what I have can do and this and this." So I more understand. I don't found the real tone raw. I cannot found the real tone raw, but it is all because simple to say it is because I'm not really sure the VSTs are correctly installed. Are there some issues inside? So one of the big troubles in Reason is that when I have a tone line I'm as I play on C as example. I play the bass line on C. So after it one down, it's falling to D. C minor or something, right? It's not a minor. It's a hashtag. You know what I mean? The C hashtag one half. Is this yeah? I don't know. C D E F G H. Yeah, whatever. So it's fall the tone line fall into a half tone other, and then in end effects you are fixing the tone line on some 50% plus or minus, and this is, and I can guarantee you this is some issue, guaranteed. It is like some remote assets behind saying, did you want to give him this stability into the system? Did you want to give him? This is some really asshole stuff. I mean, when you are exist, have to produce music when some guys behind attack your system and do we want to copy it and destroy it for him, or we want to give him the possibility to do it? Can we change his psychological mind when we do this? Can we change something in his abilities? It is some interesting for scientific solutions when we do. This is some asshole stuff. These guys are simply, I mean, if this really happened, these guys are simply so criminal as it's possible. For me, these are prison guys. They have nothing other to do as to get in prison. But it is, I have not the solution actually. So I hope I can do a good stream. I have started a good track. Then I have installed VPS Avenger and Rob Pappen, Predator 3, and some, what was it also what I have installed, and it's failed. It's begun to get unstable and this, and now as next I have to change the security setup, and when it's then sound better, then I know what it is. And in the hardest case, there is no possibility to change the security setup because you have first uninstalled VST again out of the system, change the security setup to fully free, and then reinstall the VST because the failure is inside of the system to this moment where you have uninstalled the program. And this whole process is so shitty that you need more 24-hour times to sleep, regenerate your energy, and then come back and say, okay, and now I have fun to do something. I feel enough fun and I feel enough power to do something. And over decade of year, you are more and more fall out of this. I have this energy to do this. Yeah, that's so older we get, so we lost energy. I can say you a not working program will kill your energy. That's my opinion. You can say something different, yo. You can have another opinion, but don't press your opinion to me and hijack my system. Much thanks.